Hey guys, it's Kuramonte here with iCarry. Today I'll be going over the Yasuo wall dashes. But before we get into the video, it's important to keep in mind that Yasuo's wind wall also gives vision of fog of war and jungle minions. This can be a lifesaver if you don't have a ward or a trinket to get vision of the minion that you need to dash to. First, let's take a look at the dashes through Krugs. For the small Krug, it doesn't really matter which side you dash from, you can dash through both sides. However, for the larger one, you can only dash through it one way. And then for the double dash, it requires a little bit more practice, but once you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy to do. Okay, and now let's take a look at the crop dashes. It's important that you try to get as close as possible before you use your E to dash through the jungle minion. This can be helpful for not just Gromp but any other jungle monster. As I said earlier, you can always use your wind wall to get vision. For the main buffs like blue and red, you can only really use your minions to get through walls. In this clip you can see me adjust my position multiple times to make sure that I get the maximum range from my E. Now for the red buff dashes. The easiest way to learn these dashes is to try to copy the ones in this video. But if you find yourself struggling or dashing through the minion but not making it past the wall, it is most likely because you're not dashing at the right angle or you're dashing too soon. And now we move on to the wolves, which have some of the more difficult wall dashes. For these more difficult dashes, the best tip that I can give you is to try to make sure that you're taking the right amount of steps between your first dash and your second. Now let's move on to the hardest dashes in the game, at least in my opinion, which would be the raptors. The raptor dashes are some of the most useful ones in the game, especially if you're playing Yasuo in the middle lane. You can use both small raptors to get into the raptor pit and out of it. This dash was probably the second hardest dash for me to do, so I'll go over it again in slow motion. I think this is the hardest dash to learn because it requires near perfect timing and precision to make it through such a big wall, but if you're really into Yasuo, it might be worth spending the time to master it. Thank you guys for watching, and if you liked the video, feel free to check out my website at iCarrylegends.com, and until next time, best of luck in solo queue.